Good morning. Happy Monday. It's Eric Lofholm. It's wonderful to be with you here this morning on this beautiful Monday morning. It's overcast and cold and rainy out where I live, and it's a beautiful morning. It's all about mindset, what we choose to make things mean. It's Clean Slate Monday. This is a mindset, Clean Slate Monday. If you had a challenging week last week, you can just let it go. If you had a challenging weekend, you can just let it go. If you woke up this morning and you had a nightmare last night, you didn't sleep well, or if you got in an argument with a loved one this morning, or you got a not so nice text or email, you can just let it go. We're at the very beginning of the week, and this could be the greatest week of your entire life. Last Monday, I had a phone call with Steve Hardison, and I had no idea that miracles were going to come out of that phone call. It was just a regular old Monday. And yet, one of the most spectacular things that's ever happened in my career happened as a result of a phone call last Monday. Totally unexpected, not on my goals list. It's just something that got created out of the moment. And that might happen for you this week. You might have one of the most amazing, incredible miracles that has ever happened in your life. That might happen to you this week. Expect a miracle. Put yourself in a positive mindset so you can have a great day. So we're continuing on our discussion of Think and Grow Rich and the Law of Success from Napoleon Hill. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for allowing me to share some encouragement with you and to share Hill's work. We're talking about lesson number 9, self-discipline. If you're right-handed, take your right hand. If you're left-handed, take your left hand. Pat yourself on the back and tell yourself, great job for being here this morning. Type into the chat if you haven't already done so. Today is going to be a great day. Today is going to be a great day. Self-discipline. I'm going to read to you right from Napoleon Hill. Principle number 9, self-discipline. Self-discipline or self-control means taking possession of your own mind. I'm going to read that again. It means taking possession of your own mind. The power of thought is the only thing over which any human being has complete, unquestionable control. We have the power of self-determination, the ability to choose what our thoughts and actions will be. If you direct your thought and control your emotions, you will ordain your destiny. Take charge of your life. You are what you think. Direct your thoughts, control your emotions, and ordain your destiny. There's a lot there in a couple of sentences. 10 sentences, there's a lot there. So we have the ability to observe ourselves, and we do life in patterns. So you might have an anger pattern. Something happens, it triggers, and then boom, you go right into your pattern and you get angry. And so then someone might ask you, well, why did you get angry? And you say, because the other person did such and such and such. That's why I got angry. And what Hill's teaching us is you don't have to get angry. Hill's teaching us you can come from love, kindness, or compassion instead of anger. We have the ability to observe our thoughts. So you can observe when you're coming from jealousy, if any of you experience that emotion. And you're like, man, and then some people they'll declare it. They'll say, I am a jealous person. So the problem with declaring I am a jealous person, whenever that pattern shows up, they're basically saying they're disagreeing with Hill. They're saying, I actually don't have control of my thoughts because I'm just a jealous person, or I'm just an angry person, or I'm just a fill in the blank. So we have the ability to take a step back, observe our thoughts, and go, I showed up as jealous when how I really want to show up is supportive. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your coworker, right? It's your friend. It's your coworker. You're on the same sales team and they're out producing you. And in your mind, you're thinking jealousy. When you're like, no, I want to be loving and kind towards my friend and I want to be supportive. They're my teammate and it's helping the company and their performance isn't my performance. My performance is my performance. So I can be genuinely happy that they're getting the recognition right now because they're my friend, they're my peer, they're my teammate. Tom Hopkins taught us stimulus, pause, response. Stimulus, you step on a cat's tail. What does the cat do? The cat reacts, okay? That's stimulus response. Animals, it's stimulus response. Human beings, we have the ability, we don't always do it, but we have the ability to do stimulus pause response. In other words, we can take a step back and think, how do I want to respond? Do I want to respond with anger? Do I want to respond with jealousy? Do I want to become a keyboard warrior, right? That's the trap I fall into. That's my thing I have to work on, is that when I get into an upset state, one of the things I'll do is I'll get really clever behind a keyboard, send a text, a not so nice text, send a nasty email. So it's like, no, Eric, turn and walk away. This is something I train myself. This is a mindset for you. This is very, very powerful. Turn and walk away. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. Turn and walk away. Sometimes we need to stand our ground. Sometimes that's the best way to respond. And sometimes it's just, let me walk away and cool down. My energy is way up here. I need to calm down. I just need to just take a deep breath and not react when my energy is way up here. I'm running on adrenaline because of what something happened. And I'm like, oh, you know how we get. And I'll just speak for myself. I know how I get. When I'm way up here, my brain's not thinking in its clearest thoughts. And then if my brain's not thinking clear, and then I come out with the keyboard warrior, and then it's like, wow, if I put up on the screen right now some of the emails I've sent, oh my gosh, I would be horrified. I would be horrified for you to see some of the messages that I've communicated when I am a master of communication, and yet at times I have responded in an immature way, in a way that nobody should be responding in that way, but I've chosen to do that at times. And so I work on it, right? I work on it. And Hill's teaching us, hey, we have self-discipline. There's different types of self-discipline. Okay, you can have money self-discipline. So instead of spending money on consumer goods, you can be disciplined and you can invest. And then some people live in a story of, well, I'm just not good with money. That's not true. That's not true. Anybody can learn how to be good with money. Anybody can learn how to invest. So maybe you need self-discipline with money. Maybe it's food, right? Maybe it's food and it's having self-discipline with food. And what I do with the foods that I eat, sometimes I don't eat what I'm supposed to. And sometimes I don't eat, I eat late at night, and I shouldn't be eating late at night, but sometimes I do that. So I'm lacking self-discipline in that example. But what I don't do is I don't throw in the towel. I don't say, oh, well, screw it. I screwed up. I ate late at night, so forget all my good health habits. I'm going to throw those out the window and go back to just be eating poorly. And a lot of people do that with diets. They go, okay, I'm going to go on the diet, and then they fall short, which we all do when you're on a diet. We all fall short. Nobody's going to be perfect on a diet, but a lot of people throw in the towel. And so instead of doing that, just say, okay, I'm just going to get back on track. And when you get off track with food or exercise, that's called every human being on planet Earth. Okay, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, and it certainly doesn't mean that you're a failure. It means you're a human being. So when we get off track, it's like, oh, I'm off track. Instead of making it mean I'm a failure, how come I always screw up my diet? Because we always screw up the diet. Who's perfect on a diet? Maybe one of you is perfect on your diet. And if you are, awesome. And or if you're super disciplined with your food, awesome. But most people aren't that high level fitness, winning the competition, disciplined with their food. And so if you're like that, that's how I am. Not that I couldn't be even more disciplined with my food, but if I get off track, I'm just like, okay, Eric, just get back on track. Don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track. Okay. Same thing with exercise. All right. Some of you need to be more disciplined with your work. Now, my discipline with my work and my work ethic is off the charts. I don't need to work on that at all. But some of you need to work on that. And so it's like, okay, I need to bring discipline to my work. Things like I need to take today through the finish line. I will work today until 5 o'clock. I won't shut it down early. Then you write it down and you go up the mindset. I'm going to take the day through the finish line. You go in the mindset. I'm going to have a great attitude today at work. We all have that ability. Some of you need discipline with your prospecting. You need discipline with your prospecting. Today, I want you to focus on what do you say verbally when your buttons get pressed? I want you to observe yourself. When your buttons get pressed, I want you to see what comes out of your mouth. What swear words, what words that you, after you say them, if you were on this call and you had to admit to us tomorrow the things that came out of your mouth, and you'd be humiliated, right? Like that's what I was talking about earlier. So notice, observe what you say when your buttons get pressed, right? When somebody sends you that not so nice text, right? I had somebody text me one time, they called me a racist and a bunch of other stuff. And I didn't even respond. No text back, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. Let me defend my position. Here's how I'm not I didn't even respond. I was like, it's really unfortunate that human being was in that space to communicate with me in that way. And that's it. Done. No back and forth. No embarrassing text thread. Okay. Where do you have challenges with self-discipline? Observe yourself. Money, food, exercise, work, prospecting, etc. Observe yourself. Are you dealing with any addictions right now? If you have an addiction, you know it. And here is the thing about addiction. Lots of people deal with addiction, and there's likely a 12-step program that exists in the world, and all you have to do is want to make a change. And maybe today's the day you go Google and you find a 12-step program and you reach out to them today and you get yourself in a meeting today and your life changes because you're no longer going to have that addiction take control of you. Millions of people have done that. They've had an addiction and they realize, you know what, this is bigger than me. I can't do it on my own. And get a 12-step program and completely transform their life off of one decision. Where do you have challenges with self-discipline? Is it when you're criticized? Somebody criticizes you, does that bring out the worst side of you? Is it when somebody has an opposing view of you? Their beliefs are different than yours. And so it's like, how dare they think differently than me? I'll show them my way is the right way of thinking. Or when somebody has different political beliefs, right? You think one way politically and they think another way, and you're like, them's fighting words. There are families that are divided over politics. Wow. People they're your loved ones, and the family's divided over politics. Or do you have a need to control others? So when somebody's not doing what you think they should be doing, then all of a sudden that brings out the worst in you. Now, if you're dealing with any of this, hello, all that means is you're a human being. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. If you feel jealousy, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. If you have an addiction, doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. If you feel the need to control others, doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's called being a human being. But what Hill's teaching us is we have a choice. And if you have the need to control others, you don't have to have that need anymore. And you can start showing up in a different way. Like maybe you have the need to control your kids. And there's all this conflict between you and your kids because you're like, they have to do it my way. And they don't want to do it your way. Because everybody has free will. And then you have this aha, you have this epiphany, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's why all the conflict's happening. It's not my kid, it's my need to control my kid. And then instead of controlling, you come from a loving space, and it transforms the relationship. Snap your fingers that quick. Self-discipline, spoken word. Notice, what are you saying to people? Are you criticizing people? Do you name call people? The written word. What do you say in writing? And then our thoughts. Okay. Now, if you're thinking negative thoughts, doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's called being a human being. So you just go, okay, let me put my thinking over on what I want to create. What's positive? What do I want to create versus negative thinking? Okay, two things coming up. One is the bonus video. The bonus video is Napoleon Hill teaching self-discipline. So I'm going to pull it up here on the screen. If I can get it to work. There we go. 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 Okay, so here is the video.
From it until the time.
Okay, so if you will watch this video, there we go. There we go. I just put it in the Zoom chat and I put it in the Facebook chat. If you're, this is like 10-minute video. If you watch the video, just type in the chat, I will watch the video. Okay. Why do I want you to write it down? Because if you write it down, you're more likely to watch it. So just type it in the chat right now. I will watch the video. Now, you're not typing it for me, you're typing it for you. Okay? I'm telling you right now, if you will take what I just taught you. Oh, by the way, did you get something out of class today? If you got something, type in the chat right now and just say, I got something. If you got something out of what I taught you today, just say, I got something. Okay? Now, you can also email or text me for the bonus video or for the planning class. There's my information on the screen right there. Email or text me. I put it in both those informations. I put them in the Zoom chat. If you got something out of class today, just write in, I got something. Planning class starts tomorrow. I want you in that class. It's going to be awesome. I'm recording it. If you can't make it live, bring your friends. I'm bringing my A game. It's going to be the best planning class I've ever taught. You're going to love it. Join me tomorrow. Come live or on the replay. Join me live or replay, planningclass.com. Let your friends know. Say, hey, this guy Eric should be bringing his A game. It's going to be awesome. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock California time, and Thursday. It's a 2-module class. Thank you for joining me. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Frank, have a great day. Jim, we'll see you later. Marcus, thank you for joining me. Chris, have a great day today. John in Argentina, thanks for joining me. Chris, thank you for being here. Andrew Banks, you have greatness inside of you. Bobby, great to have you in class today. Rajiv, thank you for being here. Welcome. Ed Watt, great to have you. Abe, thanks for joining us. Carol, hey, Carol, good to see you. Patrick, great to have you here in class. Tommy, thanks for joining us. Tanya, great to have you. Heshi, thank you for joining us, Heshi. Patricia, nice to have you in class. True, thanks for joining us. Donovan, great to have you. David, thanks for joining us. Greg Dixon, great to have you. John in Canada, thanks for being here. Kimmer, thanks for being here. Elizabeth on Facebook. Elizabeth, nice to have you here in class. Grace, have a great day. Mark Rieger, have a great day. Sherry in Washington, thanks for being here. Denise Davis, you have greatness inside of you. Karen Briggs, great to hear you got something. Great to have you. Taheen in India, nice to see you, my friend. Dan in Minnesota, thanks for joining me. Great to have you. Jim North, great to have you. Neil, Thanks for being here. Gary Wayne, thanks for joining us. Sandra, great to have you. Harry, great to have you. Katie, thanks for being here, Katie. LT on Zoom, thanks for joining us. Flo, keep doing all that great work you're doing for the kids and for the parents. Thanks for joining us. 805 area code on Zoom. Thank you for being here. Steve Shaw, you have greatness inside of you. That's going to wrap our call. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.